as we saw yesterday, this is the weakest case for impeachment in the history of this country. We continue to see how flimsy this case is, which is why there was bipartisan opposition in the House. There was bipartisan no votes when it comes to impeachment. I anticipate that we will continue to hear lies and half-truths from Adam Schiff today. He also doesn't include important testimony that every single witness testified that he or she had no direct evidence of impeachable offenses, high crimes, misdemeanors, treason, or bribery. So Adam Schiff and his team can continue to speak for hours to the American public. Certainly in my district, they're tuning this out. They want us to get back on behalf of the American people and get back to work. And they want to work this out in the election. The American people have a right to decide at the ballot box.
Excuse me, you're all advisors. What does that mean other than speaking to us? Just kind of foundational questions.
Well, many of us were deeply involved, obviously, in the process in the House, having either sat in most of the depositions, which almost every individual here did sit in those, or participating in the House Intelligence Committee or the House Judiciary Committee. So having an understanding of the process fouls and how unfair Adam Schiff ran this process, that's important to point out the hypocrisy of his witness claims, for example, when Republicans were not able to call a single Republican witness, only witnesses that the Democrats wanted to call, how rushed this was in the House, and also reading every single word of the depositions, every single shred of witness testimony, all of us have read. So we're deeply familiar, and if we can be helpful to make sure that the counsel's office knows all that, that's what we're here for.
For clarity, weren't Morrison and Hale and Volker, they were all Republican witnesses, were they not?
They were called by Democrats. We did formal requests of additional witnesses that were Republican only, and not a single one of those witnesses was called. Those individuals had already been deposed and had already done the depositions.
Senate Republicans have said the House should have done the work, that they needed to subpoena these guys when they had the opportunity. Would you welcome the House beginning the subpoena process?
Well, listen, Adam Schiff had,
like John Bolton and others. It's not too late if they choose to.
Adam Schiff had his opportunity, and they chose to take back the subpoena. This was rushed. This was on an arbitrary deadline. They wanted to get this done before the holidays because they're on an arbitrary deadline. I'm not sorry that their case is so flimsy, but it's very clear that it is flimsy, and they didn't come here with a strong case.
Yeah, I think the Congresswoman Stefanik makes a key point. You call your witnesses, you subpoena your witnesses before you vote on the articles of impeachment. You know, now to come back and say all of a sudden our case is weak, which they're not saying that. I'm saying their case is weak. The American people are seeing that their case is weak. But to suggest now that we're going to have these additional witnesses, when they went to subpoena the witnesses, what did they do with that subpoena? They withdrew them. Why? Because they didn't trust the judiciary to side with them. So now we have the Democrats saying that the executive branch under Donald Trump is not to be trusted, and also the judiciary is not to be trusted. I can tell you who shouldn't be trusted is Adam Schiff and the House managers that are trying to perpetrate this lie on the American people.